Fellow Hermes lovers, I went to Paris. I tried every single strategy in the book to get a leather lottery appointment and to get a walk-in appointment. And buckle up, because this is gonna be a long story time. Your girl got both. I am so jet lagged right now, but I wanted to film this very quickly after arriving home back to LA because I didn't want to forget any details. I wanted to give you all of the tea. It's gonna be probably like 40 minutes of excitement. There are twists, there are turns. We think there's gonna be a sad ending, then there's a happy ending. I did get a bag, but what kind of bag, you ask? I'm gonna unbox all of these little items as we go. I went to no less than 5 Hermes stores in my time in Paris, and I feel like I have gained a lot of knowledge that will hopefully give you all a leg up the next time you hit Paris. Disclaimer, I know that the way things work will constantly be changing. We all know like Chanel has done a lot of changes in the last year. Hermes seems to be a bit more of a stable environment, but depending on when you're watching this, things may have changed. But as of September 2022, I have up-to-date info for you all. Okay, so I'm gonna start from the beginning, okay? Like, there is so much information, and this may be a rambly video, but I promise, like, stay with me because it's good stuff. So I arrived September 1st in Paris. I flew essentially, like, I left at 1 p.m. Los Angeles time and got there at 9 a.m. the next day. I had a game plan. So let me first say, I did not go to Paris specifically to play the Hermes game, or the Hermes journey as we all love or hate to call it. I went to Paris because I had to do some work there, but I also wanted to extend my trip. I had a few friends that were gonna be in town at the same time, and I thought, you know what, like, the euro is almost at parity with the dollar. We might as well extend and have some fun, do some shopping. While I was there, the euro actually dipped below the dollar to 0.98, so very favorable prices. We already know, because there's no like import fees, you're closer to the mothership. Most luxury goods, especially French designers, are going to be cheaper in Paris to begin with, but then when you take into account the parity of the dollar to the euro, we're cooking with gas, okay? We've got our credit card, we're ready to get our points. So I went to lunch, had a lovely souffle moment. The place I was staying was in a friend's flat in Saint-Germain. Please, if you are a native or a very good French speaker, drop corrections in the comments below, because I am really trying, and the next time I go back, I vow to at least be more conversational. I digress. I went for a lunch at a lovely souffle place. I'll put the name in the little corner situation. But that is located right across the street in a little alleyway from the Sevres store. I have watched hours and hours of videos about how to try to work the Paris system, okay? So my first experiment, if you will, experiment numero uno, experiment un, was to go buy something small and see if that triggers a lottery appointment. I applied the day before I arrived because I was going to be there at 9 a.m. I figured, well, I mean, if I get a 10:30 a.m. appointment, I might be cutting it close, but I could go straight there from the airport. That's dedication. Did not get lottery appointment on first try. So I went into the Sevres store. I will say it was raining. I had my Birkin and I had forgotten to pack her raincoat, rookie mistake. So I went in. They have the Petite Ache selection sort of in the lobby of the Sevres store. It was a weird vibe in there. I don't know if it's because it was raining and people were a little bit frantic, or if it was just me because I was jet lagged, but I went in and like, I didn't know where I was supposed to go. Am I meant to be assigned a sales associate like many other places in Paris will do? Do you just kind of wander? So I asked one of the ladies at like the first like silk counter, how it worked, and they looked at me like I had asked them, like, is the sky blue? So for your visit, so you know, the Sept store does not assign someone to you as you walk in. There was no line. I just like waltzed my little self inside. The leather appointment concierge desk is downstairs. So you walk in and there is like a giant staircase and you descend, okay? First floor is or as they would say, the ground floor is cosmetics, like click H bracelets, silks. So your sort of entry level, if you will, purchases are chilling there. And then you descend into the belly of the beast and you've got your fine jewelry, your shoes, you're ready to wear, and your bags. Bags are on display with prices, which is incredible. For reference, as I was looking, a Kelly 25 in Togo, 7,400 euros, less 12% VAT if you're shopping from another country. Really good prices. Oh, especially with the parity. So I got excited. I was doing some browsing. I had thought, like, sorry if you hear doggy sounds, Finnegan is expressing his displeasure with the whole situation. Finnegan. So I descend into the belly of the beast. I look around and it's busy. Like, there are people buying things. You can see there's a few leather appointments happening with like a mini Lindy in the side corner area. There's like a lot of people in the shoe section, and I didn't quite know what my strategy was going to be yet. There were a few things that I really wanted to get, and so I was going to try for those first. I also had set myself a budget for Europe, so I was not trying to like go ham. I also don't want to completely abandon my situation with my sales associate in the US, so it was like, if there's something I can get here that I can't get in the States, full speed ahead. So I waited in the shoe section. My best friend Roya was watching my two pups while I was in Paris for a week. So I wanted to get her a pair of black Orans. That was her like wish list item. So I wait in the little shoe section for like a long time. No one helps me. Then I mean a long time, it was like 15 minutes, but I saw people running around, like no one was available to help me. Then I'm like, okay, well maybe let me try. I have a few things I want to ask in like the fine jewelry section. So I go over there. Like, they are, every little desk that is for showing people jewelry taken, and nobody seems to want to help me. At this point, like, I'm jet lagged. I'm feeling, it was warm in there. Paris was hot and humid. At this point, I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go back, try the shoe situation again. I go back, I make eye contact with someone. She's very sweet. She comes up to me, asks me what I'm looking for. I ask for the Orans and the Chip, and no go on either. And for those of us who will be keeping score at home, because it will become a thing as I continue my story, Emily asks for Orans and Chip. None. Zero. None. Not even any other colors. Nothing. And I'm sitting there like, I'm at the motherland. How do we not have Orans? Even in LA we have Orans. I just thought I'd get them for half the price here. Anywho, she's got nothing. I'm like, okay, well, cool. And then I asked her if they happen to have raincoats for Birkin 30s, because I forgot mine and it was raining. And she's like, well, let me ask. She's gone for like 10 minutes, comes back. She's like, yes, we can help you. We'll take you up to the repairs department. So I go up to the tippity top floor of the Sevres store, and I'm helped by a woman who speaks very little English. So that was like a fun challenge for me to describe what I needed. I ended up getting a Birkin 35 raincoat, and she said that was the only one she had. But I needed something. I forgot, being an Angelino, that it rains normally in other places. So it allowed me to kind of get conversation going, but like I would not recommend it as a technique. The repairs people don't take appointments. So at the end of all of that, I'm like, well, now I'm without a sales associate. I have been helped, but nobody has anything I need. I need to create a profile here. Like, what am I gonna do? So I go down back to the ground floor, and the only person who had been like really warmly welcoming to me when I walked in, and I remembered this, was the gentleman who was working in the cosmetics area. And I have been wanting some perfume. So I went up to him and I asked if he could help me. He was so accommodating. like, you know, recommended some perfumes, whatever. First unboxing moment, I got myself a little bit of this. Yeah. It's lovely. It smells very fresh. A little like grapefruity, but honestly, I'd just say it smells like, it smells like when summer transitions into autumn. That's all I got for you. Okay, so anyway, he asked me, do you have a profile? And I was like, I do. And he looked me up in the system. Didn't come up. And, you know, for those of you who have watched my channel, y'all know that I have spent a lot of money at Hermes in the States. And so, to me, that is a piece of valuable information. Apologies, my battery died. So, essentially, buy perfume from Lovely Gentleman. He asks if I have a profile. I say I do. He tries to look me up in various ways. I do not exist. He says, oh, well, if you haven't shopped in France, then you wouldn't have a profile here yet. I'm like, okay, valuable piece of information, because everyone has been saying the systems are connected. They're not until you create a profile there. So he has me put in my information. I purchased my perfume, I leave. I applied for a leather appointment through the lottery system for that Friday, that Saturday, and then the Saturday application that means your Monday appointment because they're closed on Sundays. No dice. So right there is like a debunked myth that like if you just like spend a little bit, it'll trigger the algorithm to help you out and give you an appointment. Not for me. So on Monday, I said to myself, all right, I've got Monday, Tuesday, I fly out Wednesday, I'm running out of time, so let's up the ante here. So I asked my friend who had come to meet me in Paris if he would come along with me to the Sevres store. I go in, I've changed my approach this time. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the jewelry, the fine jewelry section. Also, sorry, the lighting is doing some weird things right now, so just bear with me. We're in the moment. We're not gonna stop filming because it's a good story. So essentially, I go in, I wait by, my friend and I, we wait by the fine jewelry area. I had already asked, both times I went in, I asked to see if there were leather appointments available. Each time the counter is like, no. And like, did we really think there would be? Also no. But that's okay. Like, ultimately, that's not what I was after. I was not after like, the like, come in with no appointment, get handed appointment. I wanted to do the long game where you make a relationship with a sales associate. I went to the leather counter in the basement and I said, are there any cancellations? They looked at me like I was asking them if ghosts are real. There were no cancellations. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the fine jewelry section and I'm gonna try to meet a sales associate that way. There are a few pieces that I've been looking for in Beverly Hills that I cannot seem to get my hands on. Let's see how we go. So we went, waited for a few minutes, and finally this lady comes up to me and she's like, how can I help you, madame? I mean, she spoke to me in French first. I told her I speak no French, speak very little French. Does she speak English? She was very accommodating, very nice. She asked me what I was looking for. I showed her a few pictures of like silver pieces that I've been looking for. I love Hermes silver. I think it's very brilliant. I think it's well priced. She said, silver. As though she was like, ugh, ugh. And my friend and I looked at each other and I was like, well, that's not a good start. So she went and was gone for like 15 minutes trying to find the pieces I had asked her for. In the meantime, he understands the whole like Hermes system. He was like, honey, that's not gonna get you a bag appointment. She clearly is not excited about the silver. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna let her bring out the things, whatever. And she brings me out a few things, all of which were honestly kind of hideous. She's like, stock has been rough. We haven't gotten a ton of jewelry. We do have some rose gold pieces if any of that interests you. As she's like showing me things, we're chatting. I'm feeling like I'm okay. Like, all right, like she's cool. I could work with this person. I think we made a connection. So then I asked her if she had the Chandon earrings that are just like the little rose gold studs. I've been trying to get those for almost a year in Los Angeles and have not been able to get them. And she's like, probably not, but let me go check. She's gone for like 20 minutes. And she comes back with these. I show you. There we go. So these were 990 euros, so essentially $990. Great deal. And I said, wrap it up, sold. I then asked her if we could go look at the ready-to-wear section. And she was like, okay, sure. All the while chatting with her, just trying to, you know, see if I could get the lay of the land. We tried on a few pieces. She did not have a lot of sizing. Honestly, the stock situation is like still dismal, even though we're at the mothership. Nothing fit. We go to the shoes. She asked if there's anything else she can help me with. We go to the shoes. For those of you keeping score, I ask for Oran, I ask for Chypre. Nothing. 0 things in size 38, 38 and a half, or 39. So Emily kicks rocks once again. So at that point, she's like, okay, let me walk, like, is there anything else you'd like? And we're walking towards like the till. And I said, you know, like, random question. Do I need to have a leather appointment in order for you to sell me an Evelyn? Because I've been trying to get an Evelyn in not noir with palladium hardware, because that's the one bag that like I genuinely do not want in the Evelyn category, for months in Los Angeles and can't seem to get one. And she's like, you do need to have a leather appointment, but do you have a profile with us? I was like, I do. I just started one yesterday. She pulls it up. I'm standing close to her because the store is busy, and I see the system has linked. My total spend is there, and I didn't know I was going to be like looking inside of my soul or being faced with my true reflection in that moment, but here we are. Let's take a moment. She looked at my profile, and then she goes, let me go talk to my manager. Wait here, madame. She goes up to the concierge that does the leather appointments. The leather appointment person is currently being berated by a couple that presumably would like to have a leather goods appointment. As soon as they finish, she asks, I suppose, like, can I sell her an Evelyn? And the concierge turns around, and I'm like, oh my god, I hope she doesn't hate me from when I asked prior. But the sales associate I was working with showed her the iPad. I assume she saw like my profile history there, and we were cooking with gas. She comes back and she says to me, Madame, Monsieur, please follow me this way. She takes me into a private room to show me an Evelyn, people. Evelyn. That is how dire straits it is, even in Paris. We're waiting, and she comes out with one box. And I'm like, oh, well, the pickings be slim over here. And she's like, this is the only thing I have today, but I think based on what I see you carrying now, you're gonna like it. And so I'll insert, I did like a nicer unboxing footage here, but she pulls out a biscuit Evelyn 29 with gold hardware. It is glorious. Also quite difficult to get this color, I might add. Very, very neutral, very easy to wear. And I asked her, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I love it. Do you have any other bright colors? She's like, this is literally the only one we have today. And because I think we were there around 1 p.m. So presumably a lot of people who had come for the 10:30 a.m. leather appointments had already snapped stuff up. But anyway, I was like, okay, I'll take it. Then she asks me, are there any other bags you're interested in? And I was like, well, I'm looking for, I have my beautiful Birkin 30 in gold toga with palladium hardware. She's great. I next would like to add a Kelly to my collection. a 25 or a 28. She says, what colors? And I was like, is it happening? And I tell her I'm really into rouge-age. I'm wearing rouge-age lipstick right now from Hermes. I've got a almost rouge-age or maybe a rouge granate kind of sweater on right now. Like, we love a fall burgundy moment. So I was telling her that. Cray, like olive greens, like woody greens, even noir I'd be into. And she goes, I don't have anything like that. But when you come back next time, give me 5 days notice, send me an email, and we'll get you your bag. And I'm like, this is it. This is fantastic. I had my leather appointment, I got a bag out of it, and I couldn't believe that she was saying, okay, like next time you come, we'll hook it up. So we're in the store. So one of the colors I had told her I love is like a poppy color, or way back in the day they offered a color called Capucine, which was like this bright kind of like orange corally color. So anyway, I told her I was taking the Evelyn. She went in the back and she comes out and she's like, since you said you like Capucine, I got you something else that I thought you might like. She also brought out a bunch of bags for me to try on different sizes so that I could better know what size I wanted of Kelly in the future, which I thought was very nice. I did not ask her to do that, but she got me. I bet you can guess what this is by the box, but check it. It's a beautiful PM Rodeo. The body is Capucine color. The saddle is fauve. And I actually am not sure what, I think this might be Blue Broom, but I'm not totally sure. It didn't say on the receipt. But I thought that was a nice like offer and very like thoughtful of her to bring that out for me. We all know how rodeos go in the States, and so that was like, I think, a really nice show of like, okay, like look, we're working together now, I'm gonna help you out. So we checked out. She told me again when I left, 5 days, give me 5 days notice and I've got you. And I left grinning like a Cheshire cat. This whole thing, so the Evelyn 29, the rose gold fine jewelry earrings, and the rodeo, without my VAT being given back yet, which is 12%, I checked out for around 3,900 euros, which is the same in dollars at this point. To get an Evelyn 29 in the United States right now with sales tax in the state of California would have been around $3,900. So just take that in for a second. We got fine jewelry, a bag, and a rodeo for the same price as the bag. And the bag is a beautiful new season color. We did good. But I'm not done. I still have other things to unbox. So that night at 5:15 p.m., I received a text message. Every other night prior, when I had received the like sad news that I did not get a leather appointment, it came via email. This time I got a text message saying, "Dear Madame Monsieur, we are delighted to welcome you to the FSH headquarters for a leather appointment." Cue the fanfare, cue the excitement. I am over the moon. Now you might be thinking, did spending almost 4,000 euros get me the appointment? I don't think so, and here's why. So in my research that night, as I am preparing for my appointment, watching, of course, copious YouTube videos about how to proceed and how to ask for your bag, whatever, I stumbled across Kim Luck's mom. Hi, if you're watching, I'll probably tag you in the comments of this. She had just recently been in Paris, had bought an Evelyn, and then when she went to her leather appointment, was denied a Kelly because she had already purchased a bag and had a leather appointment the day before, so she had to put it on her husband's card, or her husband's profile. So instantly I'm like, oh my gosh, is this Evelyn going to prevent me from being able to buy a bag? And I couldn't sleep the whole night. I'm just like, is that really the case? I tried to find more information online. It's kind of hit or miss because the system has changed a lot, because stock has been such an issue. So cut to, I had a 5:30 p.m. appointment. The appointment moved several times throughout the day. It was for 5:45, then it was for 5:20, then 5:25, and then eventually it landed on 5:30. I walked myself in at 4:45. The hosts at the door asked me what I was coming for, and I said I have a leather appointment. They directed me to the leather concierge, and I just straight up asked her, I said, hey, I don't want to waste anyone's time. If I was given a leather appointment yesterday, Seamus. So I walked myself up to the leather concierge and I said, hey, I don't want to waste anyone's time. If I was given an ad hoc leather appointment yesterday at the Sept store and I bought an Evelyn 29, does that mean I won't be able to get a quota bag today offered to me? And she was like, Madame, no one has ever been this honest or upfront before the appointment. And she was like taken aback. And so it turns out, yes, if you did get a leather appointment, doggy sounds, if you did get a leather appointment, which is what my sales associate at the Sept store had to do, I watched her go ask if she could sell me an Evelyn, that precludes you, if you did buy the bag, from getting another bag for the next 6 months. I think stock is just so aggressively limited right now that even an Evelyn disqualifies you. So she said, you know, most people, the woman at the FSH leather concierge desk said, most people will just go for the whole thing, through the whole appointment, waste a sales associate's time, then when they pull up your profile at the end, they go, oh, we can't give you one. So she thanked me for asking. She then said, technically you're not, Seamus. She then said, technically you're not allowed to buy one, but do you have like a partner who we can put it on their profile? Unfortunately, I was shopping alone that day. I didn't have anyone with me. And she said to me, stay here, madame. Someone comes out, one of the managers, I think, comes out, and he thanks me for not wasting their time. Which, I mean, like, the like buzzing in French when I said, like, here's the situation was wild. And here's my thing is, like, I know, I'm sure a bunch of you are like, you're crazy, you should have just gone in there and seen what happened, but the thought of going through a whole appointment and being presented with my dream bag only to not be able to buy it would have been like really heart-wrenching. So I just figured, you know, like, I already have this relationship with a sales associate who said, give me 5 days and before you come and we'll get you a bag. I figured, like, let's play the long game here and not waste anyone's time. So anyway, the store manager was very nice, and he said in 6 months, like, come see us again and, like, remind everyone of what happened and you'll be good to go. So we'll see. It may or may not come to fruition, but I've got 2 options for the next time I go to Paris, which will be in March. I will let my sales associate at the Sept store know that I'm coming, and we'll see what happens there. And then we'll also see if, you know, the FSH store has anything to offer me. So we'll see what happens. My thought is kind of like, look, it seems as though you can get 1 bag every 6 months. So if you're going and someone offers you an Evelyn, but you really would like to maybe hold out and you've got a couple days still there, maybe you see if, you know, you can get the leather appointment. What I learned is that me buying things at the Sept store for sure did not trigger that appointment, because what I bought would have precluded me from getting a bag. So the system is wild. One of my other good friends who was traveling at the same time has never bought a single thing from Hermes, ever, anywhere. And she got an appointment the same day I did. She did not go home with a bag. They didn't offer anything she wanted, but she bought nothing while she was in Paris, and she had bought nothing previously, so she just fully got it off of the lottery system as a completely unknown person. So I think the algorithm is just that. I think it's luck. When I was talking to my sales associate at the Sept store, she mentioned that essentially, like, the first 150 people per location that input their information at 10:30 a.m. when the lottery opens, like, that's it. So I think there is something to be said for applying immediately. When I did get my appointment, I had set an alarm. I submitted while it was still 10:30 a.m. and it was a Monday, so maybe like people had left. It was also September, so I think a lot of the tourists had finally started to clear out. I think you definitely do want to be strategic about when you're going. The weekends, I'm sure everyone is applying from everywhere. Monday, maybe not so much, and that was when I got my acceptance for a Tuesday appointment. But friends, whilst I did not get a quota bag, I feel like I came out with something better than a quota bag. I now have a sales associate in Paris, and it seems like things work sort of like they do here, there, but only you don't have to spend quite as much to like make a relationship, right? It's still like you spend a little bit to get to know the sales associate and then they're willing to help you out. So that's my recommendation for how to perhaps invest in your Hermes future in Europe. I did also, Easter egg, go to both of the Hermes stores in Charles de Gaulle. First was in terminal, like the first like terminal BE, and then I went to terminal L. Terminal B had no Orans, so I'm still coming up zero, and this is like the fourth store. I went to the George V store at some point throughout the weeks, and that was also no-go. They had no ship. I left with nothing. They did offer me an Evelyn in Noir with palladium hardware, and I was like, I don't want this, but thank you. Then we went to our final gate, which is where the other Hermes store is in Charles de Gaulle. Not only did they have the Orans, I got them in white for my friend. She has them now. I don't have them to show you, but you all know what they look like. But they also had some ship. And I'll cut to the unboxing so you can see, but I got a size 40. I'm normally a size 38.5 in shoes in Hermes, so it is true, you do need to size up. They're amazing, so comfortable. They were 490 euros in comparison to what, 890 or something here. Unreal. So at the end of the day, the pricing is worth the visit. If you're gonna be over there, like, just scoot. If you're gonna be in London, go to Paris. So I hope this will help you take away some sort of new information on the whole Paris system. I feel like I learned a lot. Part 2 of this will be coming in March, so if you wanna hit that like button, subscribe, be notified as I continue to shop and as I correspond with my sales associate in Paris, that would be awesome. Thank you so much for listening. I imagine this was a very long video, but if I were trying to go to Paris, I would have found all this information helpful previously. I hope this helps you in your shopping journey, and I will see you in my next video. Have a great one.